Mr. Charles, the stage is yours.
To the program directors, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dr. Robert Martin in absentia, Dr. Nora Clark, my dear friend, Dr. Nkondo, thanks for inviting me. To all the entrepreneurs who are in person here and the aspiring entrepreneurs who are also watching in all forms of social media. To my fellow presenters, it is my pleasure and privilege to be part and parcel of this great event. One thing I know, especially to the young, the gifted, the educated, the not so educated, perhaps, should I say to everyone who is in this place, the rest of your life will be the best of your life. My slogan in life is that if you are born in failure, failure is not born in you. For there is a possible you within you. There is someone within you that you haven't met. When I grew up, I was the naughtiest child in my community. Think of anything which is naughty. I've done that, and I've graduated. I still remember vividly when I was still doing matric, one of our maths teacher, who happened to be African speaking, those years in 1981, he asked me, he said, "Charlie, what is it that you want to be in life?" I said to him, "Manier, I don't want to be anything other than marrying your daughter." Then you'll understand how furious the guy was. The guy wanted to break me into pieces. He came over to me furious and said, "There's no way in this country that you can marry my daughter." And when he came to me, just like a little monkey, I jumped from one desk to another desk to another desk to another desk, and he was chasing me in a classroom until I jumped out through the window. And that was the last time I saw him in my life. Not that the following day I did not go to school. I went back to school the following day, but he was so furious in such a way that he resigned. That's how naughty I was. You know, in our times, we had prefects, and we had classroom prefects, and their main duty was to write a list of noise makers. And if there's a noise maker, it was me. You know, I still wonder even today what the teachers were doing whilst we were making noise. Because they were supposed to be in a classroom teaching us something, yet they were in their staff room drinking coffee. But when they come into the classroom, they'll be looking for a list of noise makers, and it was always the top in the list. If they come and there was no list, still I'll be a target. They'll say there's no way in which Charlie was not making noise here. And they will hit me, day after day. If you had told my mom that today I will be who I am, had you told my mom that I will be an author of so many books, had you told my mom that I will see some few billions running through my hands, Had you told my mom that one day I'll be speaking all over the world, had you told my mom that I will be having my own TV show on TBN, she will probably have asked you, what did you smoke? Because I was tantamount to absolute nothing. Why am I telling you these stories? It's simply because I refused the teachers to silence me with their shambok. I made a lot of noise in the classroom, and guess what am I doing today? Making the very same noise, and it's paying me good. Don't let anybody ruin the creativity that is within you. Be yourself. Be real. There are 4 people within you. The first person which is within you is what I called the real you. The real you is what you know and other people know about you. That is the real you. The second person within you is the blind spot you. The blind spot you is what people know about you, and you are clueless. And when they come and tell you, "Upika Xhosa," okay, I know it's not me. But people can see. When I wrote my first book, one guy we debated. He said, "No, but Charlie, you're using one word several times." And I refused because I did not see it. Until we decided to do the word count, I realized in one paragraph I've used the same word about 6 times. The whole book I've used the same word about 1,000 times. Then I said, no, this was a blind spot, me. The third person is a hidden you. The hidden you is what you know yourself. It's a camouflage. You know yourself who you are. But the other people who are sitting here, they don't even know that that is you. Perhaps it's a serial rapist. It's a hidden you. You know it yourself. But other people, they don't know you at all. The fourth person whom I'm interested in is a possible you, which is the title of my talk this afternoon. The possible you is what you don't know about you, and other people don't know about you either. It is the possible you. And that is the person whom this afternoon I want to unearth within you. I want to bring out that person within you. I want to bring out the possible you within you. Because if you're born in failure, failure is not born in you. If you're born in a poverty-stricken home, poverty is not born in you. If you're born in a zozo is not born in you. If you're born in a shack is not born in you. For there is a possible you within you. You know, if you read history, perhaps the Bible, or even the Quran, you realize that David was a shepherd boy, but he became a king. Nehemiah was a cupbearer, but he became an architect. Joseph, a prison boy, he became a prime minister. Moses, a fugitive and a stutterer, he became a human emancipator. Gideon, a coward, he became an army general. Esther, a slave girl, finally became a queen. How about Ruth, a widow? and Rahab, a prostitute, a professional prostitute. Yet both of them, they are mentioned in the lineage of Jesus Christ. I am here to say to you, you can rewrite your story. I'm here to say to you, if there's a hope for David, if there's a hope for Nehemiah, if there's a hope for Joseph, if there's a hope for Moses, if there's a hope for Gideon, if there's a hope for Esther, if there's a hope for Rahab, and perhaps if there's a hope for Ruth, definitely there must be hope for me and you. The other time I was home, I seated nicely in a sofa. And I love beautiful stuff. I also love a clean house. Then as I was seated there, I looked into one corner. I saw a spider seated nicely in a spider web, waiting for a catch. I looked at it. I wanted to kill it because it invaded my privacy. It made my house to be filthy. But before I could kill it, I thought of those ages, your long way back, when we're still reciting poems. And one of the poems said, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, for the Lord God created them all. Then I said to myself, no, I can't kill it. God created that spider for a specific purpose. Then I decided to take a feather duster and clean. At least I cleaned it. And the web was gone. Guess what? Few minutes later, I looked into a different corner. I see the same spider in a new spider web. The spider did not even go out of my house. It did not even leave my living room. But it has recreated its web. Then something said to me, everything that I need to succeed in life, everything that I need to be a success story, black and young as I am, or I was by then, was within me. Just like a spider, which recreated everything without even going outside, without looking for new materials. Everything was within itself. I am here to say to you, whatever you need to rewrite your history, whatever you need to be a success story, whatever you need to change your life, don't look very far. It's within you. It's within your reach. You have it within you. Martin Luther King once said, there are three conversations necessary. The conversation of the heart, the conversation of the mind, and the conversation of the purse. And I call that entrepreneurship. It's your mind, your heart, but finally, it must lead to your purse and makes you filthy rich. There are so many people who want to start businesses today. I am glad to have seen people who have showcased their products here. So many of you and so many of the South Africans, they hide behind the lack of money. Do you really need to have money to start business? Did the spider web or did the spider went out of my house to recreate its own spider web? No, I refuse. Poverty is not a lack of money, but poverty is a lack of creative ideas. You are as rich as your ideas that you have. Think of the guy who started Facebook. How much did he have? Nothing. Think of Mr. Please Call Me. How much did he have? Nothing. Think of Google. How much did he have? Nothing. Everything is within you. It does not take money to start your own business. It does not take money to be a great entrepreneur, but it takes creative ideas. Perhaps, let me give you some few examples from my own life. During my high school years, I decided to be a great photographer, and I was a good one. You know, one of my high school teachers had a camera. His name was Zero. And we called him Zero. But he was a huge soccer star who eventually became a teacher. And Zero was his nickname. I went to him and said, "Meneer Zero, can I borrow your camera?" Yes, he did lend it to me. I took his camera, shoot the pictures, the photos. By those days, they were not even digital. I sent them to P.O. Box 66, Bergvlei, for development. 2 months later, then I'll have them back after collecting deposit from fellow students, high school. Then I take the deposits to go to the post office to pay for the pictures. Whenever I take the pictures back to the owners, then they'll pay me the balance, which will have been my profit. At the end of the year, I'd made enough money to go back to Mr. Zero and buy his camera, cash. I bought my first camera from Zero, from the profit I made from his own camera. Did I have money? No. Did I have creative ideas? Yes. When I went to Technical Northern Transvaal by then, TNT, I remember very well, I did not have money. I was so poor. My elder brother was a student in Medusa. So I went to Medusa. There was a young man who had a dry clean in Garankuwa. His name was Bra Andrew. Then Bra Andrew had a depot at Medusa. I went to Bra Andrew. Bra Andrew, I need a job. Can I work for you over weekends? Bra Andrew said, no, he does not have a job for me. And I said to Bra Andrew, can I create the job for myself within your environment? He asked me how. I said, no. Easy, Bra Andrew. I am licensed. I'm a good driver. Seeing that you don't have a job for me, give me your car. Saturdays, I'm not at school. Every Saturday, I'll drive around the streets of Garankuwa. I know Garankuwa in and out now. Collecting dry clean. In the evening, when his dry clean has closed down, I'll go inside his dry clean with the dirty clothes that I had collected and wash that myself and iron it. Sunday morning, I'll go to church. After church, I will deliver the dry clean back to their owners. I made that guy a millionaire. But at the same time, I made a lot of money for myself. Did I have money? No. And that creative idea, even today, nobody does it. And let me tell you something. Very few people want to carry their dirty linen into a shopping mall looking for a dry clean. And that business, if I was not doing what I'm not doing today, busy as I am, I'll probably do it again because I know there is money in that. Perhaps I should also mention how I bought my first taxi. I'm a taxi boss. Yes. I'm a chairperson of an association. You ask me, how do I get time to do all these other things as a chairperson of an association? I've transformed the taxi industry around the area of Ngobeni. A chairperson is a chairperson. I chair the meeting. I let the secretary do his job. I let the treasurer do his job. I let the rank master do their job. I simply go there once a month, sit down and chair the meeting as a chairperson. And I enjoy it. But this is how I bought my first taxi. In our church, there was a certain young pastor who had a car which was paid up, Ford Leisure. I remember that Ford Leisure vividly, like it was yesterday, white in color. His name was Pastor Mongwe. Then I went to Pastor Mongwe. I said, Pastor Mongwe, can you drive me to Tzaneen? I need to see one of the garages. Then he drove me to Tzaneen. At Tzaneen, I went into VW garage, Lani Motors. Looked into the cars which were on the floor. Went into the spares, and then I bought the spares that I wanted. But in the process, I asked them, I said, no, man. V is the A&R of this garage. Then they showed me. I said, no, I want to speak to him. I went to him. I said, Manier, listen to me. You see that car which is there, that taxi, VW taxi, I want it. He said, of course, I'm selling it. Why can't you have it? I said, great. How much deposit? 10,000 rand. How much cash? 34,000 rand by then. Did I have the 10,000 rand? No. Dololo. It was my second month of working as a teacher. Second month, before I even got paid, I bought my first taxi. Then I said to him, look, Menier, I came in that Ford Leisure, which is parked outside. Do you see it? He said, yes. I said, if I were to sell it to you now, how much will you give me? He said, no, I can give you 14,000 rand. I said, okay, you give me 14,000 rand. Can I take the 10,000 out of that and make it a deposit for this kumbi? He said, yes, as long as you have got a salary advice and a South African ID. I said to him, I'm getting my salary advice at the end of the month because this is my second month of working. He said, no problem. We can have a deal. Then I said to him, if I were to buy back this Ford Leisure, how much will you sell it back to me? He said, because I will not have done anything to it. Easy. You can get it back at the same 14,000 rand. But I said to him, how much deposit do you need if I were to buy it back? He said, the deposit on 14,000 rand is 4,000 rand. I said, bingo. Then I spoke to Pastor Mongwe. He sold his car, Ford Leisure. He got 14,000 rand. Out of the 14,000 rand, he used his names to buy the kumbi for 10,000 rand deposit. He was left with 4,000 rand. I took the 4,000 rand and bought back his car. So basically, we went to the garage with one car which was debt-free. We went back with two cars which we had to pay for. The rest is history. I did not need any money. All I needed is creative ideas. My son today is Zuni. I'm proud of this young man. He's like one of you. He's a student at Wits University. Guess what he's doing? He's running the university tuck shop. Not for the university, for himself. He went to the university. He negotiated a deal with the university. He said, no, you can't take strangers from outside and bring them here in university to sell us Simba chips, stock sweets. No, I can do it. And they gave it to him. And I did not even give him money. He started with his own pocket money and bought a little bit of stock, sold, and kept the profit. Then he increased his stock, sold, kept the profit. And today, he has got a well-oiled tuck shop at Wits University, as I'm talking to you. And he's still a student, just like you. Why don't you take advantage of technology and make money out of technology? Why don't you monetize your Instagram? Most of you here, you have got cell phones. But unfortunately, what do you use the cell phones for? Selfie in the morning, selfie in the afternoon, selfie when you go home. When you can make money out of the same cell phone that you have, there are many things that you can do. Allow me, before I sit down, just to come with some few principles that will help you. Because I realize that life is about first principle. The first principle to success is finding yourself. Finding yourself. Find who you are. Birds of the air are created to fly, and they will never crash. Fish of the sea are created to swim, and they will never drown. Who are you? Who are you? Find yourself. What are you here on earth for? What is your purpose? What is your divine assignment? Find yourself. In finding myself, it was a journey, and a tough journey for that matter. After I graduated from the Technikon, I went to work at Guyana as a high school teacher. From there, I wanted to be an engineer all along, but I could not afford. So I applied from the government. Lucky enough, they approved my scholarship. I went back to school with full pay for 4 years to do a BSc engineering degree at University of Natal. I went to University of Natal. First year, I studied. The results came. I did not fail. I failed hopelessly so. I was excluded. Rule 12.B, Roman figure, so whatever. Don't come back. You're the worst case. Wow. Then what can I do? Do I go back to teaching? No. I went back to the government. I say, it's tough with engineering. Can I go to TEFLUOP with the remaining 3 years of study leave? At least I can do BSc in mathematics. They said, okay, try it. I went to TEFLUOP. First year, I failed. Second year, which was my third year, at least I passed first year. On my fourth year of study leave, I was still doing my second year. Then the study leave was over. What's next? Back to teaching. And I'd only passed first year after 4 years. Lucky enough, at Guyana, there was another university, which we used to call it Unigas. And it was like the rehabilitation center of all the people who failed from all these universities. So I went to that rehabilitation center, Unigas. I tried to do my second year, I failed. I repeated it, I passed. I tried third year, I failed. I tried it again, I failed. Then I went to TEFLUOP. I negotiated. I said, can I perhaps do the last modules with UNISA? Maybe these lecturers, they hate me so much. Well, they gave me that chance to go to UNISA. I tried UNISA. It was worse. You don't have a lecturer there face to face. I could not make it. Wow. Then I relocated to Johannesburg. I started my Wimpy restaurant and so many businesses there. But in the process, I went to Wits University. I met a certain professor. I said, Prof, there was a prof in a business school. I said, Prof, do you know a guinea pig? He said, yeah. Explain it to me. Then he did. I said, Prof, look, I want to do Masters in Business Administration, MBA. He said, no problem. Just enroll. Let me see your papers. Then I gave him my teacher's diploma. He said, no, you can't do a master's degree without a junior degree. I said, but Prof, you said you know what a guinea pig is. Why don't you use me as a guinea pig to see if a gentleman, good looking, who has got business interest, can't make it to a master's degree without a junior degree? He agreed. Guess what? I'm the first person to pass MBA in South Africa without a junior degree. They used me as a guinea pig. And I did not only pass, I passed in record time and flying colors. But why am I bringing this to you? I'd found myself. Later on, when I sit back and look, I realize with BSc, it needed me to memorize the formulas. And if the formula is wrong, everything that comes underneath will be wrong. Hence, I failed, because my memory is very poor. But with MBA, it's an application. You have got a concept, which you have to take and apply to a new concept. And it's a business concept that I understand very well. I was doing something which was not within me. And my friends had already labeled me a professional university dropout. Little did they know that the rest would be history. I just had to go back to TEFLOP and finish up my BSc. I said, no, this too, I have to kill it. Find yourself. Find who you are. Perhaps you were born for one thing. Perhaps Noah was made for an ark. Perhaps Paul was called for the Gentiles. Perhaps Peter was called for the Jews. Perhaps Moses was called for deliverance. Ezra was called to rebuild the temple. Nehemiah was called to rebuild the walls. Abraham, perhaps he was called for blessings. Joseph was to preserve the prosperity. Our very own Mandela was called for freedom. Steve Jobs, his one thing was an apple. Bill Gates was called for nothing other than the Microsoft. What is your one thing? What is your divine appointment? Go outside your box. What are you gifted in? What are your talents? What makes you tick? What makes you unique? It's your one thing. If you need to do a great business, 2 secrets that I've learned. I had a lot of failures in my life, but don't forget these 2 secrets. Number 1, your business must be hard to copy. Hard to copy. If you want to do fish and chips, I remember I sat down one day with the owner of this Blue Label fish and chips. I said to her, you're not going to last in this industry. She said, why? I said, no, because it's easy to copy. I can even do a better fish and chips than you. Then there was a yellow fish and chips. And then every street corner was fish and chips. You can't even have a trademark on the name fish and chips because it's a used commonly so. And today he's gone. Someone else started Chisanyama. Another one copied and called it Chesanyama. Another one copied and called it Tsitsanyama. And every street corner was a Chisanyama. And for that matter, this guy has got Chisanyama in the mall, he's paying rent, he's paying electricity, he has got wages. The other one who's on the street corner, he uses a small pot, and the pap and meat is very tasty because it comes from a small pot. And it's much more cheaper because he does not pay electricity, there's no rent, he only pays himself or herself. Your business must be hard to copy. Secondly, it must have high barriers to entry. High barriers to entry. The reason why I'm a wimpy guru, and for that matter, I'm the first black person in South Africa to own a wimpy. That was in 1996. Yes, 1996. Perhaps some of you were not born by then, who knows? But my first wimpy was in Hillbrow. And whenever we had meetings, all meetings were in Afrikaans. I had to learn Afrikaans very quick as well. But the reason why I went to Wimpy is because it has got a secret. It's hard to copy. You see, KFC is hard to copy. People tried it and failed. Some others, they tried it and stumbled to Chicken Licken. But they were trying KFC in the process. Nando's is hard to copy. Others tried it, stumbled and failed. But others, they eventually stumbled into Barcelos. But it's a big different taste. You can't get Nando's profile from anywhere. You can't get KFC profile, taste profile from anywhere. You can't get Wimpy Burgers profile, taste from anywhere. We're the best in burgers, we're the best in coffee. You can't beat us. Your business must be hard to copy. Secondly, don't limit yourself. Never limit yourself. Think and think big. You know, sometimes I get angry at our own black people. I'm not a politician. I don't like politics that much. But it is said that when the settlers came here, they stole our country. Perhaps they did, perhaps they did not. I'm not a politician. But all I know is that whatever they took hectares and hectares of land. And today we're reclaiming our land back. Guess what we're claiming back? Umjondolo. We put shacks in a small piece. You can't survive. Think big. You know, I do skincare. One thing I know with skincare, once you have got stretch marks, enjoy them. Because they will be with you perhaps for good. Once your mind is stretched, it will never go back to its original form. Think and think big. And God bless you.